Emily, in the broader sense, you've said in the past that the Western governments need to stop enabling the Islamic regime to survive. How exactly are they doing this?
So I think that the West has really failed so far on this revolution. And when I say that they have enabled the Islamic regime, obviously we're speaking about, sanction relief and even discussion of continuing nuclear agreements. There's no reason that any Western power should entertain the idea of having nuclear negotiations with a regime that is literally murdering and raping teenage girls in the streets of Iran. I mean, you wouldn't accept it from anyone else. So why would the United States government or any other government accept this from the Islamic regime? We're talking about a country that, was outraged by the hideous crimes of people like Jeffrey Epstein, and yet you have no problem negotiating with the Islamic regime. It's just outrageous and it's super hypocritical. And, I've spoken about it at length, but the Biden administration particularly has been really weak on dealing with Iran, the Islamic regime in general, and both in terms of enforcement of existing sanctions, but also in terms of, talking about future negotiations over the nuclear deal. And in generally, they're giving them too much credit. They're giving the Iranian regime too much credit in what they say about their nuclear program. We already know that the regime has denied UN investigators from accessing their nuclear facilities. So there's no reason to trust them. And yet many Western governments, including the United States, keep wanting to trust them. When someone shows you who you are, believe them. This is something we've unfortunately learned very well in the state of Israel. And I think that Iran has demonstrated beyond any doubt who they really are when it comes to these issues, whether it's terrorism, whether it's civil rights violations, whether it's women's rights in their own country, or whether it's nuclear negotiations. So the United States and the West needs to be honest about what's actually happening. They need to say explicitly that we do not support the legitimacy of this regime because the people do not support the legitimacy of this regime. I think that the West would do everyone a favor if they said, not necessarily getting involved militarily, but if they said explicitly, yes, we hear the people's cry for change. We support regime change. President Biden saying something like that would make a huge difference. And unfortunately, we just haven't seen that from him or from other leaders. There have been a select few here or there, but we really need to see more support, both verbally and in terms of working with opposition groups to help them build a united opposition so that the day after this revolution, there is potential and a future that's bright, that's liberal, that's free for the people of Iran.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.